The future of Pixar has been looking amazing ever since the release of Luca, and the studio seems to be entering a new era too. In the coming future, Pixar has a bunch of animated films soon to be released. In this video, we're going to talk about all the upcoming Pixar movies and shows, and when they are expected to be released. So let's dive in. Firstly, Inside Out 2. The sequel to Inside Out, probably the one that people are most excited about. Many people think that Inside Out is one of Pixar's best movies. The main idea of Inside Out is feelings with feelings, and with Trent Reznor's beautiful score, there's no doubt that audiences will get a little lost feeling their own feelings a bit too much. Amy Poehler will play Joy again in the sequel to Inside Out, but Bill Hader and Mindy Kaling won't be back in their roles as Fear and Disgust. So far, we don't know what happens in Inside Out 2, but that doesn't mean there aren't details. Kelsey Mann will direct Inside Out 2 instead of Pete Docter, who directed the first movie. Mann has worked for Pixar before. He wrote for The Good Dinosaur and was listed as an extra crew for Lightyear. But Inside Out 2 is his first movie as a director for Pixar. Meg LaFauve is back to writing the scripts after co-writing the first installment, which was very funny. Inside Out, on the other hand, made more than $850 million at the box office and is the most successful Pixar movie that stands on its own. It makes sense that Disney and Pixar want Inside Out to be the start of a series. The short film Riley's First Date that came after Inside Out was very well received, which was an early sign that people wanted more trips inside Riley's head. Inside Out 2 will come out in the summer of 2024, which was announced at Disney's D23 Pixar panel. This is almost 10 years after the first movie, followed by Elemental. Elemental is the next movie made by Pixar. This has been in the works for a few years, but Pixar finally announced at D23 that Elemental will come out on June 16th, 2023. The titles of Elemental tell you what the story is about. Elementals are beings that are made of only one type of element. They are found in the myths and legends of many cultures, as well as in many fantasy settings like Dungeons and Dragons. Pixar took this idea and put elementals in a peaceful, modern place, far from swords and magic. Even though not much is known about the story's plot, the first images show that the two lead casts are a water elemental and a fire elemental, and that the main theme is learning to live with our differences. If Pixar can do with elements what it did with emotions in Inside Out, it might have another winner on its hands. Even though the premise is pretty simple, that's always been Pixar's charm. Elemental already looks like it'll be another feel-good Pixar movie and a return to the kind of high-concept, heartwarming movies like Soul, Up, and Coco that prove the studio doesn't need to be owned by Disney. Peter Son will direct Elemental, and Denise Ream will be in charge of making it. Mamadou Ache will play Wade, who's made of water, as Leah Lewis gives voice to the fire elemental that's like him. Sounds exciting, don't you think? Next up, Elio. Elio will be Pixar's other original idea for the next few years. It looks like it'll be a lavish, visually stunning sci-fi adventure about an 11-year-old boy who gets sent across the universe and is mistaken for Earth's ambassador. With Coco director Adrian Molina in charge and Mary Alice Drum as its producer, Elio will definitely tug at your heartstrings as it shows how a kid handles being a fish out of water. Jonas Cabrib from the Obi-Wan Kenobi cast will voice the main character, and America Ferrera from Superstore will play his mother, who runs a highly secret military project. The film was set to production status in September 2022, but we haven't gotten any updates related to it ever since. But since we know it's in production, we can hope for its release. The movie is scheduled to come out in the spring of 2024 on March 1st, but the date isn't set in stone yet. Not to mention, Win or Lose. The recent Disney Plus Day is over, but it gave us some interesting hints about Pixar's upcoming original series, Win or Lose, which will be the first of its kind from the studio. Win or Lose is known to debut in the fall of 2023, but there's no date announced for it yet. The episodes will be around 20 minutes long each, but we're not sure if Pixar is planning to release the entire series on Disney Plus in one go or release weekly episodes. Each episode of Win or Lose will show how a middle school co-ed softball team prepares for their championship game from the point of view of a different character. Disney has called it a comedy comedy about love, rivalry, and the challenges we all face as we try to win in life. This makes the project feel right at home with other Pixar movies like Up, Inside Out, and even the Toy Story movies, which have told universal stories about childhood and the wild emotions that come with it. Both Michael Yates and Carrie Hobson, who are in charge of the series, have worked at Pixar before. Yates has worked with the studio before. His name is on the credits for the Disney short 20-something in the script and continuity departments. Since 2013, Hobson has worked for Pixar. Most recently, she was an associate executive producer on the movie Luca. We don't know who will be doing the voices yet, but we're trying to get the names. Let's talk about Doug Days, Carl's date. This is a sequel to Doug Days, which was released in 2021. It was a continuation of the narrative that Up, the movie, had, aka Carl and Doug's loving and hilarious relationship. It consisted of multiple shorts, and Carl's date will follow the same style. Each short features everyday things that happen in Doug and his backyard, along with the favorite talking dog who we all love. It'll be interesting to see how Carl will date and how much Doug would be involved. Will he push Carl towards love, like how it was like at the start of 101 Dalmatians, or will it be something completely different? The cast consists of the film's main characters, Doug, the dog, and his old owner, Carl Fredricksen. Even though the release date hasn't been officially announced, a Disney Plus promotional video shared on Pixar's Twitter confirmed that the short will be coming to Disney Plus in 2023. Bob Peterson, the director, recently updated on Twitter about how the new episode of Doug Days is coming soon in 2023. Apparently, Ed Asner is back to do the great voiceovers, and we can't wait to hear them. We're still waiting for more information on Carl's date, and we can't wait for it to release. After all, we do miss Up so much. Next, Peter Pan and Wendy. Peter Pan and Wendy is another upcoming movie that's releasing in the future. It'll be directed by our very own David Lowery and will be written by Lowery and Toby Halbrooks. It's apparently a remake of the 1953 Walt Disney feature film Peter Pan that was also based on the play Peter Pan, or The Boy Who Wouldn't Grow Up by J.M. Barrie. Alexander Maloney is going to voice over Peter Pan, while Ever Anderson and Jude Law are also going to be there, with Yara Shahidi. Disney confirmed Peter Pan and Wendy in the D23 Expo that it would be released in 2023. We also got to know that it would also coincide with the original film's 70th anniversary. On the 19th of December 2022, we saw a 30-second preview of a trailer on Disney Plus that showed some tidbits of the film, with the first few clips showing Wendy flying along with Michael and John right behind her. We also saw Michael first meeting Peter with Wendy in Darling's nursery, with the last clip referring to Wendy dueling with Hook's pirates, that too on Jolly Roger. But apparently, we're waiting for Disney to reveal differences that we'll see from the original 1953 film, followed by some other ones we got to know about. Along with the Pixar movies that are coming out, the animation studio also has a couple of TV shows coming out on Disney Plus. Most of these TV shows are based on Pixar movies that the studio thought would be better with an expanded universe. People will enjoy learning more about some of their favorite Pixar characters, like Dory and Lightning McQueen, as well as some new characters who are just being introduced to the Pixar world. Finding Nemo, which is rumored. The project doesn't have a release date yet, but the idea of a Finding Nemo TV show is very exciting. The first movie came out in 2003 and got good reviews, and Finding Dory was a fun treat for fans of the series. The rumored Finding Nemo TV show should come out on Disney Plus, but right now it's still in the early stages of production. Finally, other announcements at D23 Expo. Disney came up with a dozen exciting announcements at their D23 Expo, other than the ones we previously talked about. Michelle Yeoh is back from the Golden Globe Awards on our screen for American-born Chinese, with Ben Wong, Daniel Wu, and Ki Hee Kwan. We're also hoping to see Percy Jackson and the Olympians, starring Walker Scobell, Arian Simhadri, and Leah Sava-Jeffries on Disney Plus too. And of course, how can we forget that there's also season 2 of The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder, in February 2023. It's voiced by Kyla Pratt, Tommy Davidson, and a bunch of other voice actors. Brie Larson and Vanessa Arye took a new creative turn with the new innovative docuseries Growing Up. It explores the complexities of adolescence and triumphs through 10 different stories. For holiday festivities, Best in Snow is a special show hosted by the great Titus Burgess. It takes artistic teams from all over the world to a snowy, magical village. And on that note, that's a wrap for this video. What are your thoughts on the upcoming Pixar content? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.